Getting ready 2 minutes before the...
Yep.
You need us to move this closer?
No, that should be fine.
We'll get started. It's 7-ish. Ken.
Yes, sir.
That's only for online, and this will be for the room if you want it amplified for the room.
Oh, is that true? Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody, we're going to start tonight. Gary's not going to be joining us, unfortunately, but we still have a full slate tonight, and he was good enough to still set up the presentation for me, so you'll still get decent slides tonight. Ken's going to start us off tonight talking about slow scan TV, and his presentations are always awesome, so let's pay attention and see what he's got. Thanks, Ken. Have at it.
All right, have at it. I don't know. Let's turn this thing on. That might work better if the thing's turned on. Hey, look at that. All right. I did this presentation for the club about 5 years ago. So maybe some of you have seen it already, maybe some of you haven't. For those that haven't, there's a lot of information here we're going to go over. The people that did see it, I have changed it up a little bit, so it'll still be pretty new. I just thought, I've been getting a lot of emails from people saying, hey, I want to see this SSTV from the International Space Station program. Would you mind doing it again? So I said, no, that's not a problem. We have a lot of new members. We have a lot of new hams. So we may have a lot of hams that don't know what SSTV is. So we're going to go through SSTV just a little bit briefly, and then we'll get into how you can actually receive pictures from the International Space Station over SSTV when they do it. That's a special event, so they don't do this all the time. They only do this 2 or 3 times a year. There is no special event currently on the calendar, so probably April, May timeframe, they may do one, but they usually try to sneak in about 3 of them a year. So we should be coming up on one here pretty soon. So receiving from space. Okay, what happened here? Houston, we have a problem. Okay, I guess we're going to do this the manual way. I don't know. Well, my clicker died. There we go. Okay, so when we talk about receiving signals from space, immediately everybody's mind jumps to, oh my gosh, I'm going to have $2,000 worth of antenna equipment. I'm going to have an AZEL rotator. I'm going to have two, Yagi beams, one for VHF and one for UHF, and that's a big expense, okay? To receive stations, the SSTV signals from the International Space Station, you don't need any of that stuff. And the reason we don't need any of that stuff is because the International Space Station transmits at about 25 watts. Most of your small amateur radio satellites are transmitting at maybe 1/4 of a watt or less. So you need that kind of signal capabilities on your antennas. But for the International Space Station, you've got 25 watts line of sight. There are no trees between us and the space station, so it makes it easier to receive. So what is SSTV? Well, SSTV stands for slow scan television. It's not television, but it is very slow. So part of that is right anyway. It's been around since 1957. People started out using surplus radar display tubes with very long persistence phosphors. And it does use a narrowband transmission standard. It only takes 3 kilohertz of bandwidth. In comparison, the old analog broadcast television required at least 6 megahertz of bandwidth to transmit 25 or 30 frames per second. SSTV, on the other hand, takes about 8 seconds up to a couple of minutes, depending on what type of mode you're running on SSTV. And it only transmits 1 image per frame. SSTV can be used on HF, VHF, and UHF. So it's available on basically anything you want to use it on. I'm just going to pass through some of this history. So what was originally needed? Well, originally, again, you had to have a lot of specialized equipment. You had to have at the minimum a black and white CCTV camera. You had to have a modem to create and receive the characteristic audio scratching that we'll hear later, and a CRT with the long persistence phosphors that would actually keep a picture visible for about 10 seconds as the scan lines went down the screen. Let's see, the sync system, the modem would generate audio tones of 1200 hertz for sync, and then between 1500 to 2300 hertz for the actual picture data. And we'll see that later too when we bring up the receiver software. It'll show you the sync signal and the video signal. In the early days, there was a company that actually commercially produced a slow scan TV system that you could buy. The company was Robot Research out of California, and you could get this was the modem, and it had the built-in CRT that had the long persistence phosphor on it, and then you could also buy a black and white camera if you wanted to have a camera for it. Later on, they came out with a Model 400C, and that really created a lot of hubbub because that C stood for color. So that was the first time you could actually transmit and receive color SSTV signals using that robot system. And at that time, it also had a memory, so you could put a picture from a color camera into memory and store it in memory for transmitting it later. So you didn't have to immediately transmit what your camera was seeing. On the old system, your camera basically immediately transmitted whatever it was seeing. So that is not the case with that. There we go. It's working again. This is what SSTV in the good old days looked like. And as you can see, as the display comes down, you'll get the picture starting from the top, and by the time your scan line gets down to the bottom, it's almost faded away at the top. So you didn't have a whole lot of time to actually see the picture. These are the robot units with pictures on them showing how that they would receive the picture. So where are we now? Well, with the onset of personal computers and the increasing power of the systems, SSTV has gained in function and popularity. The pictures are now mostly in color, and specialized software has taken the place of much of the custom equipment. All you need now is a small digital camera or digital photos, and they can be used as the video input. The sound card of your PC with the SSTV software acts as the modem, with the computer monitor displaying the decoded output. So pretty much everything is driven off of the PC now, other than just your video input, whatever you're going to use for that, either a picture file or a camera. So where can you find SSTV? SSTV is on pretty much every band. The most popular frequency is going to be 14230. That's the most active frequency on 20 meter upper sideband. 14230. If you go there just about any time of the day or the night, you're going to hear SSTV traffic. It's very, very busy. So that's probably your best bet. The International Space Station transmits on VHF, and it transmits on 145 800 megahertz. So you're going to be receiving 145 800 if you're going to try to receive the SSTV pictures from the ISS. So here's just a spattering of a few SSTV pictures that I received at my station. These are from obviously all over the country. Pretty interesting. Some of them are more interesting than others. I'm not sure exactly what it'll get better or it won't means, but those are just some of the pictures that I received from around the States. So how about DX? DXing? Well, there's a lot of DX SSTV out there too. I'll just kind of go through these real quick. VY4GMG was in Venezuela. 6Y or GY5NZ is from Jamaica. DL1PP is Germany. VA1ALO is Canada. HZ1SK is Saudi Arabia. I wish I didn't have so much noise in that picture. That was a pretty cool picture of the horse running across the sand there. But they were in Saudi Arabia. HP1GDS is in Panama. IN3BJS is in Italy. F4EIK is France. PD7BDM is in the Netherlands. And HA1AD was from Hungary. So there's a lot of DX SSTV traffic out there as well. And there are a lot of special event stations that are using SSTV to do their special event. Unfortunately, again, very noisy signal, so it didn't work out very well, but at least you can kind of read it. This was a special event station that was in Spain that was celebrating the 5th centenary of the first round of the World Magellan Elcanto expedition. So they had a special event station set up, and they were sending out these SSTV pictures for their special event station. Kind of cool. All right, so we've been talking about pictures from around the world, but we want to talk about pictures from space. So I have a few examples of some pictures from space that I received. Okay, maybe these really aren't from space, but they had space themes, so I figured they would work. I especially like the little alien guy. So yes, these are obviously from the call signs. These are from the States, but you never know what you'll see on SSTV, that's for sure. So let's get back to the space station. We'll talk about the space station for a few minutes, and then we'll actually deep dive into how to get this to work. The space station, believe it or not, has a lot of HF or a lot of amateur radio equipment on board. I don't know if you realize that or not, but they're really pretty well stocked on amateur radio equipment. This module is the service module. This is the Zagria module. I believe that's how they pronounce it. It's Russian. This is the Russian side of the space station. This is the Columbia module. This is the US side of the space station. On the service module, they have 4 antennas for ham radio. So there's 3 of them here. You can't see the 4th one because it's on the other side of the module. And then we can't see the antennas from the Columbia module either. But so there's 4 antennas on the service module and 2 on the Columbia module. As far as equipment goes, they have Ericsson MP-X handheld radios, a Kenwood TM D700, and a Kenwood D710. The D700 radio was located in the service module, the Zarya module, and it supports 2 meter, 70 centimeter operation, and also provides higher output power capability restricted to a maximum of 25 watts in operation, supporting FM and packet. So that's the station that would be sending the SSTV pictures when it's active. And the higher power capability allows nearly horizon-to-horizon signal reception using simple handheld radios or scanners. So again, you don't have to have some big satellite array with a AZEL rotator to be able to receive these pictures. Again, a set of 4 antenna systems are deployed on the service module, and they support the installation of the Kenwood D700 and D710 radios. Each of the 4 antennas can support amateur radio operations on multiple frequencies and allow for simultaneous automatic and crew-tended operations. Having 4 antennas also ensures that ham radio operations can continue aboard the station should one or more of the antennas fail. 3 of the 4 antennas are identical, and each can support transmit and receive operations on 2 meter, 70 centimeter, L-band, and S-band. And they also support reception for the station's Russian Glisser TV system, which is used during spacewalks. That's the TV cameras that are mounted in the helmets of the spacesuits. So they actually use the same antennas that for the amateur radio to receive those signals from the cameras in the spacesuits when they're doing EVAs. And the 4th antenna is a 2.5 meter, 8 foot long vertical whip that can be used to support HF operations, particularly on 10 meters. Currently, one of the 3 VHF-UHF antennas is disconnected, and the HF antenna has no radio hardware available for use. And I put a sad face next to that. We really need to get an HF radio on the ISS. I think that would be super cool. So hopefully that will happen. And again, 2 antennas are installed on the Columbus module, and they currently serve the Ericsson radios deployed there. And the frequencies available for transmission to and from Columbus are 2 meters, 70 centimeters, L-band, and S-band. And they also support the ham TV DATV transmitter. And that transmitter has been offline for for a long time. Hopefully there's rumors that they're going to actually get that transmitter back online here pretty soon, and that would also be pretty cool because that actually will transmit live video from inside the ISS. So you'll be able to see, if you have the capabilities to receive the DATV, ham TV, DATV stuff, you'll be able to actually see live video from inside the ISS. Okay, so I just threw this in here. There's a gentleman that has a YouTube video, Randy K7AGE. It's called Receiving SSTV Pictures from the ISS. He goes really into depth about how to configure all the software we're going to talk about tonight. I'm not going to go into that much depth because we don't have that much time. But if you want to use Randy's video, either just to kind of give you a sort of a refresher on what I said tonight, it's a great video. And again, he'll go into all the configuration that's required to make this happen. So we're going to stop with this here, and I'm going to start with software time. All right, so there are basically 3 steps that have to happen to do this. Step number 1, you need to know where the International Space Station is. That's important. If the International Space Station is flying over Russia, you're not going to receive any SSTV signals from it. If it's flying over South America, you're likely not to get any SSTV signals from it. It has to be pretty much overhead or a little bit east or west. It can about, if it's at least 20 degrees on the horizon or more in altitude, in actual, direction altitude, if it's if it's 20 degrees or higher, you'll usually get a pretty good signal from it. And I'll show you how we can determine what that is. Then you have to have something to receive it by and with, and we'll explain that a little bit. It's pretty straightforward. Something like this, bless you. Something like this will work fine for receiving it, no problem. And then also, how do we decode this audio? Because you're going to get this scratchy audio noise thing, so what do we use to actually do the decoding? So we'll start, we'll start by losing my microphone thing here. There we go. So I'm going to start by giving you an idea of how you can find the ISS and where the ISS is located. The easiest way to do that is to go to a website that is, let me bring it up here. Go to a website that is called Heavens Above. So I'm going to go out to Heavens Above. Oh, shoot. I'm not online. I have to be online to go to that.
FBI surveillance.
What's that?
FBI surveillance is their open line.
Oh, FBI surveillance? I would have never guessed that. Can somebody provide a password?
Hold on, let's see. This is Jason's password.
I forgot details. You have to be online for this to do something online.
You ready?
Actually, it's Wadsworth Eagles now, isn't it?
No. You ready, Ken?
Yeah.
It's 1, lowercase n,
I'm sorry.
lowercase
Okay.
n,
Yep.
capital T,
Okay.
lowercase g, the plus sign,
Okay.
T, A,
TA.
and capital L.
Hey, look at that. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
Yep.
Okay, so this is Heavens Above. This is probably the easiest way to figure out where the International Space Station is. So right now, this is the current position of the International Space Station. It's over the Pacific. You'll have to do a couple things with Heavens Above. You'll need to give Heavens Above your location. So if you come down to where it says Configuration, change your observing location, it'll bring up this map. And I actually have it set right now to be basically right where we are at the Eagles. So, and all you do to change your location is you just click on the map wherever you are, and it will move that location to that point. If you don't want to do the map thing, you can come down here, you can give it your latitude and longitude, or you can even say search for a place and use that. But probably just as easy just to do the clicking on the map. So we're all set there. We know that that's where we're at. So, and we know that this is where the space station is at. Now, one thing to be aware of, this site does not automatically update that position. So if you're sitting here for 10 or 20 minutes, the ISS is going to move and it's not going to show up on the map. So you have to reload the page to make sure you're getting the latest location of the ISS. Now, what you can do is, if you go to this prediction part, the 10-day prediction will give you a 10-day prediction of where the ISS is going to be. We want to select all. We don't want to select just visible. We don't care about seeing it. We want to actually receive it. So you can set it for all. That will give you the daytime and the nighttime passes. Now, we actually just missed one here at 5:53. There was an 89-degree pass. That was right dead overhead practically. I mean, it was a great pass. So you're looking for passes like that. You're looking for a pass that's very high. That's number one. You want a high pass, a good high pass. You also want a long pass because they transmit the SSTV signals with a 50% duty cycle. So they transmit 2 minutes on and 2 minutes off, and then 2 minutes on and 2 minutes off. So if you see a pass that's 3 minutes long, don't even bother. Don't waste your time, because by the time, if it happens to be in the middle of a picture, when it comes up over the horizon, then the picture quits. Then you got to wait 2 minutes before the picture starts again, and by that time it's going to be almost off the horizon on the other side. So you need a good 6 to 7 minute pass if you want to try to get a good picture. You might get 2 good pictures out of that pass, but you'll for certain get probably 1 good picture at the least. So that's the way you can tell where the satellite's going to be. It shows you the date. It shows you the time of the lowest. And this always starts at 10 degrees. It starts at 10. 10's a little shaky around here. You really need about 20. But it always starts at 10 degrees. It tells you what the highest point is going to be. So again, like at 5:53, the highest point was 89 degrees. Then at 5:59, say 6 o'clock, it was back down to 10 degrees. So you had basically from 5:53 to 6 o'clock to get that pass in. So you've got 7 minutes, a good 7-minute pass. So you want to look for those. You want to look for passes that are long and passes that are high. Now here's one, 85 degrees on the 20th of March. Oops, did you really need to do that? 20th of March, there's one at 85 degrees, and it starts at 10 degrees and ends at 10 degrees, and it starts at 23:36 and ends at 23:42. So a good 6-minute pass. So again, that would be a good pass to use. Right now, there's nothing going on, so it's not going to matter. But when they have this special event starting, and the special event usually lasts a week, they transmit a series of 12 different pictures. So one of the goals is to try to get all 12. That's good bragging rights if you can do that. And another goal is to try to get a good one. So that's the way you find the satellite, or the ISS. Now, if you want to do it with software, you can go out to a program, get the right spot here. There's several good software programs. I kind of prefer Orbitron. Orbitron is a very good piece of software. It has a little bit of a learning curve, okay? And you have to realize if you're doing something that's not online, every now and then you need to update the TLE files. And those are the files that actually tell the software where the changes are being made for the position of the space station. Because you have to remember, the space station is not hanging up there in space, it's dropping all the time. So it's trying to drop back to Earth, so they have to make corrections every now, course corrections, to get it back where it needs to be. So these files, these elements, they're called Keplerian elements for Kepler. You have to update those every now and then, or your calculations will be way off, and it'll show you that the space station is somewhere that it isn't. So you want to make sure you update these. I have my software set for 7 days. So every 7 days it warns me, it gives me a warning like this. So I haven't used this for 7 days. It says, do you want to update your Keplerian elements? So you can go out here and also, if you're using Orbitron and most of the other software, make sure you're running them in administrator mode, because to update this file, it won't write the file if it's not in administrator mode. So you want to make sure you're running it in administrator mode. So to update the elements, you go over here to this little Earth symbol with the little lightning bolt like on it, and you click that, and it just starts going. And it says download, download, download. You may get some errors. Sometimes it doesn't always pick up everything. But usually it gets most of them. There's a lot of download errors for some reason. So it'll go through all these elements for all these different options that you have, and then it tells you, that it's complete and how many it has completed. So now we're going to, now that we have good elements, so we know we're looking good. Oh, yeah. Apply the elements, hit OK, and I'm going to load a TLE file. So I'm going to load amateur. That'll give me all the amateur satellites as well, but it also does give you the International Space Station. So we'll find the ISS here, and we'll click on that, and there we go. So there's the ISS. Now, if I brought up Heavens Above and ran Heavens Above, hopefully those two match. If they don't, then there's something wrong with your program on the PC. It's not Heavens Above that's wrong. There's something you've changed. You do have to go in and configure this. You have to give it, if you give it your call sign and your grid square location, it'll automatically put in your latitude and longitude, and you can just use that. And then there's some other options you can go for. Now this also has predictions. So I can go over to the prediction tab and I can hit predict, and it's going to chunk it out for a while. And there we go. And it says OK. And so you can see that now this shows the predictions in a little bit different way. It shows the, boy, I must have a battery problem or something. It shows them vertically instead of horizontally. So this is the first. So at the first time you see it, it's at 10 degrees. It makes it to 20 degrees, and then it goes back down to 10 degrees. So we could scroll through this prediction chart, and we could find that same high pass. I said that was on the 20th, right? So let's look for it. There it is. So there's that high pass again. So it, again, on the 20th at 23:36, it's going to start at 10 degrees. At 23:39, it's going to be at 87.8 degrees, again, almost directly overhead. And then at 23:42, it's going to be back down to 10 degrees as it goes back down onto the horizon. There is a little this is kind of cool. There's a little radar that shows you when the International Space Station is within your reach. But again, right now it's really low. It needs to be a little bit higher than that, and I don't think it's going higher. I think it's going to stay way down low, according to the prediction anyway. Yeah, it's only going to get to about 20 degrees. So it would be hard to get anything out of that pass. It's going to be pretty far north of us. But again, this is its footprint. That's the footprint of the ISS, that round circle there. And conceivably, you should be able to receive it if you are falling within that footprint. So you can see from my location, I do fall within that footprint, but again, it's just so low that there's not much chance of receiving anything. And it's probably a pretty short pass too. So that's how you determine where the ISS is. So that's the first thing we need to know. Where is it? Okay. The second thing we need to know, how do we receive it? Okay, so receiving it is very straightforward. You basically just dial your HT or your scanner or whatever you have up to that frequency, the 148, whatever it was. And one thing you have to realize or remember with your HT, you don't want to be pointing your antenna towards the ISS, because there's going to be a null at the end of the antenna. At the end of your antenna, there's a null. So you want to keep your radio basically parallel with the ISS. That'll give you the best chance of getting a really good signal. It'll work even better if you have a little bit longer antenna on it, on your HT. But that's really all you need. I use a ground plane, just a GP15 6 meter, 2 meter, 440 meter ground plane to do all my receiving, and it works great for me. I don't need, again, you don't need a big antenna array for this to work. So what you need to do is you need to get your audio somehow into your computer. Either a direct interface through like a signal link or a digi-rig or something like that. You can put the audio in directly to the decoder software. If you don't have that, then record the audio. Bring up your movie recorder on your phone and just hit record and just record the audio, and then dump it to your PC and then use that audio to actually decode the pictures. So the audio is probably the easiest part, and the receiving is probably the easiest part, as long as you follow the rules and make sure you know where the ISS is going to be, and everything, you should be okay. So finally, the last step, once we have this audio recorded, we need to actually be able to decode it. So to decode it, there's a program called MMSSTV. And this is all free software, by the way. There's no charge on any of this software. This is all free software. And this is what MMSS TV looks like. So it has a little box over here that basically shows you the picture as it's receiving the picture. It does have a history. You can tell it, you know, I want to save the first 128 pictures I receive, and it'll save all those pictures in a history file for you that you can bring up. There's not a lot to do to configure this, but I'll show you what you do need to do. Go to Options and Setup. And basically, transmit, we don't have to worry about transmit at all because we're not transmitting. Miscellaneous, you do need to tell the software what the input is for the sound. So you're going to need to tell the software, hey, I want to use you know, a USB port or a digi-rig or a signal link or whatever to get the audio into the computer. I'm going to use actually VB cable, which just allows you to patch direct from one app to another, and I'm just going to run a file that I have just on Media Player and run that file through VB cable right directly into the decoder, and it'll start decoding. But that's really the only thing you have to do in there is just get your input correct. 48,000 hertz is what you want for the frequency, the clock frequency. That should be there by default, but it might not be. There's really nothing over here in the receive section. You might want to just check all of these. Some of these are unchecked when you install it. You might want to check all of these: auto stop, auto restart, auto resync, auto slant, and decode the FSKID. Because that way it's pretty much automated. You don't have to worry about it stopping and starting and everything. And what I will do a lot of times, if there's a special event coming on and they're doing the SSTV, I'll turn my radio on before I go to bed, set up MMSS TV, and I'll let it run all night and then come back down to the shack in the morning and see what pictures I got. I mean, you don't even have to be around. So that's what you can do. So we've got it configured. So I'm going to run this audio. And I'm going to let you hear what SSTV sounds like first, just so you get an idea of what it actually sounds like.
Hey, Ken, if you put that on the projector, it goes through this loudspeaker.
Oh, so I need to put the mic up to it?
You can put it back on projector, your output, your audio output.
Oh, no, I want to be able to hear it. Oh, it will come through? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were saying. Hey, look at that. Okay. So that's what SSTV sounds like. A little scratchiness thing. That's coming up.
I can see it in my head.
Can you? Yeah. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the MMSS TV stuff, and I am going to switch my audio to tell MMS or to tell my audio I want the audio output to the VB audio virtual cable, and I have this set up for the virtual cable, and we will start here. Okay, so it's going to start. What you're going to see in the band scope, you should see at the 1200 mark, there it is. So that's the marker for the sync. That's your sync marker. Then from 1500 to 2300, that's your actual video data. That's all the video data. And this is what it's going to look like as it's receiving. If you did everything all right up to this point and you have good audio or you're receiving direct, then if you're seeing something, you've done good. So by that record, I'm going to just let that play. There's about 4 or 5 pictures on there. What you can do, if you do get a picture that's half decent, it doesn't even have to be half decent. I sent in some pretty bad pictures. You can send in to the ARISS, the Amateur Radio International Space Station site. You can send a picture in. If you receive a picture, and they will send you a very nice plaque, or a very nice, well, what would you call that? A picture, yeah. What's that? Wallpaper, yeah. Yeah, they send you a very nice piece of wallpaper in your email that you can print out, and it says, like this one, it'll tell you what the special event was. So we'll start with this one. This says, the first satellite to orbit the Earth, October 4th, 1957. And then it says ARISS SSTV Award to Kenneth Dorsey, K8OAD, received SST images commemorating placing the first artificial satellite into orbit of the Earth, sent through the amateur radio system installed on the Russian segment of the International Space Station. So it's kind of nice. It's in English, and then they repeat it in Russian, so you get Russian in there for everything too. But so they send you these. Again, it's just a file they send you that you can print out. Obviously, they don't come with the frames, but I framed them so I could hang them in the shack. And this one was for lunar exploration. And the same thing, it says, Kenneth Dorsey, K8OAD, received the SSTV images from the ISS commemorating lunar exploration. The images were sent via an amateur radio system installed on the Russian segment of the International Space Station. So you get a nice little thing to kind of commemorate. So we got through one. So we can go over, if we look at the history, I'm going to just view and show the thumbnails. So this will actually, I actually have a bunch in there already. I forgot to clear them out. But this will show you your thumbnails of all the pictures you have received. Now you can adjust how many you want it to save. It'll do up to 256 pictures. And then if you find a picture in there you're like, ugh, that picture looks terrible, you can just come out, you can just right click on the picture and say delete. It'll ask you if you're sure you want to delete it, and it's gone. Or you can delete all the pictures in there. You don't have to delete them one at a time. But
Does this program save them as JPEGs?
it saves them, I think they are JPEGs. I believe they're JPEGs. I don't really remember. But, oh, it's pretty low. It's 640 by 320 or something like that. Yeah. And there is a magnifying glass. You can click on the picture you're actually receiving to bump that up. So you'll notice a lot of times you'll get noise either at the top of the picture or at the bottom of the picture. Sometimes a little noise in between too. Usually what that means is the ISS was pretty low on the horizon when you started receiving the picture, so there was a lot of noise in it. So usually you're either going to get noise on the top because it's just coming up as you're receiving the picture, or you're going to get noise on the bottom because it's just sinking into the horizon at the end of the picture. So, and again, you've got, 2 chances of getting a picture if it's a good solid pass, if it's a good 6 or 7 minute pass. So we'll let that just go for a few minutes here. I have 5 minutes. Okay. So do I have any questions while I'm playing around here? Any questions about this? Okay. Oh,
I have one.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That heavens above, there's an app for that too.
Yeah, there's an app for that, right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's also on the MMS STV, there's a bunch of SSTV apps too. So there's MMS STV, there's MMSSTV Yonic, which is YONIQ. That's the newest one. I don't know what they've added, but they've modified it in some way. There's QSSTV if you're a Linux user, so you can run QSSTV on Linux. Black Cat Systems has an iOS version. Robot 36 is for Android. If you have an Android version, you can get Robot 36. And then Multiscan is another version for Mac. So if you have a Mac, you can get Multiscan for your Macs, and that's to display the, decode and display the pictures. And also, if you have a radio, now on 2 meters, it's not really that important, but if you do have a good 2-meter radio that you can actually change the bandwidth, it's best if you get the maximum bandwidth. Go the maximum bandwidth, because you have to remember, we're talking about Doppler shift. So as the satellite rises on the horizon and starts to come towards you, it's going to be higher in frequency. Yeah, going to be higher in frequency. And then when it's right overhead, of course, it's going to be right on frequency. And then as it starts to drop off to the horizon, going away from you, it's going to drop frequency. So there's going to be a frequency shift there. And so the wider you can get that frequency range open, the more likely you are to get a really good pass. So that's something else just to consider, the Doppler shift. Now, again, obviously when you're running amateur radio satellites, you're talking very, very, very low power. The Doppler shift is very important, and the guys will actually, change the frequency on their whatever they're using to receive the amateur radio satellites. They'll change the frequency as the satellite passes to make up for that Doppler shift. With this, you don't really have to. With 25 watts, Doppler shift is minimal. So that's just something to think about, though. I think I covered everything else. Oh, also, not a bad idea to open your squelch on the radio. That way you may get noise in the picture, but at least you'll get some of the picture. If you don't have your squelch open, obviously you're not going to get anything that's squelched. So a good idea to open your squelch. Let's see how we're doing on our pictures here.
Hey, Ken?
Yes, sir.
There's a cheat to a lot of this if you just want the ISS with your modern rigs. Forget everything except the SSTV and just record it to your SD card. Set your squelch where it opens every time the satellite goes over. You say you leave it overnight. I left it for a week and got all 12 of the pictures.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Then
see?
the SD
Yeah.
card,
Right.
feed it to your software. You'll have to throw away 90%.
Yeah, you have to throw away 90% of the pictures, that's for sure. But
You don't have to go through any of the heavens above or any of that.
just let it go and hope for the best. That's true, yeah, I mean, you can do that.
You say your squelch may cut just a little of it, but you don't miss any changes
Right.
at all over the whole week or 12 days, whatever it is.
Now, if you go to the ARISS site,
I think the guy you referred to even may have mentioned that.
I don't think he does in his video, but I don't.
I thought that's where I got that.
Maybe if you go to the
100 is what I did it on.
if you go to the ARISS site and come over to General Contacts and go to Upcoming SSTV Events, that's where you're going to find the SSTV events that are going to be coming up. So you want to go to that site occasionally and look. The last one was December 4th. Unfortunately, we missed that one. I did anyway. The one I missed one, they had one that was 25 years of amateur radio on the ISS, and I missed that one, and I kicked myself for missing that one. But you can come down here. Where is it? I can't see it. Here we go. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Why am I not seeing what I'm looking for? Oh, here we go. So you can go into the ARISS SSTV gallery, and you can actually look at pictures that people have uploaded, that they've received and uploaded. You can actually search for pictures that people uploaded. So if we go to K8OID, for instance, and do a search, these are the pictures I uploaded for those two events. I uploaded this one, and then I uploaded this one. And again, they're not perfect. There's some noise and stuff in them, but you know, they don't mind that. You'll still get a certificate for doing it, for receiving. But it's kind of nice. And yeah, so yeah, like I said, I was kind of disappointed. They had the 25th anniversary. Here's one right here, 25th anniversary of amateur radio on the ISS. I would have liked to have gotten some of those, but I missed it. So that's about all I have, unless there are any other questions. Let's see how we're doing on our pictures here. There's one. Any questions, comments, sly remarks? Nothing? Okay. All right.
What's that program called again, Ken?
MMSSTV.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you go,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, if you go out to, what is it, it's I can't remember what the site is. It's weird.
It's the same guy that makes the RIDI software.
Yeah, it's the same guy that makes the RIDI software.
ARB or VAR or whatever it is. Yeah, the RIDI software. MTY. That's what, MMTY.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Let me make sure here. That sounds right.
It's the same guy that makes the.
Yeah. Oh, it's MM Hamsoft.
Yeah.
So if you go to MM, that's what it is. MM Hamsoft is where you can download the MMSSTV software, or you can download the other one, the
MMTTY.
yeah. So
It's a shame they don't send you your certificate by SSTV.
yeah, that'd be great.
Saying.
All right. If there are no other questions, I'm done.
All right, cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is absolutely fabulous. Not needing specialized equipment is kind of cool. And like Gary was saying, I was thinking my 5100 has a recording in it. You just record on a radio, stick it in a computer, and what was that cable thing you said? The audio cable, the internal cable, what was that called?
Oh, virtual VB cable.
VB cable. Very good stuff.
Very nice program. If you're doing anything with digital, it's really a great program to use, because you can use, like if you're using an SDR with an SDR receiver and you run it through VB cable, you can bring up FT8 and actually set your SDR for, you know, an FT8 frequency, and it'll actually send the audio to FT8, and you'll see all the FT8 stuff.
Even easier to watch paint dry?
Even easier, yes, yes, exactly.
All right.
Plus, you can create as many virtual cables as you want and send it to as many
applications you want.
Recording, receiving, transmitting, whatever.
Yep,
It's
That's
a really
cool.
good piece of software.
it is, and it's free. So,
Yes.
yeah, right.
Fabulous. Ken, as always, thank you very
Yep,
much.
you're welcome.
Fine presentation.
Thanks, thank you.
All right, everybody, let's take a 5-minute break. And by the time you get back, I'll have something up on the screen, and we will start the business meeting tonight and roll right into it. Sound like a plan? This party started. Hello. All right, let's get started.
And we're back from break. If everybody could have a seat for the meeting, thank you.
Wow. Now I know who to ask to get everybody to sit down. All right, let's get going, please. Good evening, Sarah and friends. We'll do that for Gary. Gary couldn't make it tonight. So, if you'll look back there, that's a gift I got Gary from the club for his service. That's one of them. Josh has been handing a card around. Back on the bar if you'd like to sign it, that would be great. Sort of a changing of hands tonight. Gary couldn't make it. His back is killing him. So, here we are. Let's start tonight. There's some new people in here we haven't met before. Stand up, say hi, give us your call sign, and let us know who you are.
How you doing? I'm K8MRE. Just got my license back in January, general, and trying to get around, meet people, and get more associated with the group.
Cool. Welcome to the show. Who else haven't I seen tonight? All right. We got this guy over here. All right. We can help you make that happen. Who else? Ah, there we go.
I know these guys. Don't hold it against me.
Yeah. Door's over there, man. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Doug? All right. Thanks for coming tonight. Is that everybody? Is that all the new folks? Awesome. All right, let's dig in. See what Gary put together for us here. Oh, there's the best looking hams in the land. The nicest, too. All right. Russ is a silent key now. Russ did he did trivia for our club nets for quite some time. He was the trivia master. And he will be missed. Thanks, Russ. Yep. Announcements. All right. Welcome Doug Straight, KE8ZHG, as the new social committee chairman. Where are you? There you are. All right. You can tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
So my name's
And
Doug.
say hi.
I'm happy to be helping the club out and
Get you on a
looking
radio.
forward to barbecuing hamburgers up this summer for everyone. And I learned something interesting about hamburgers today, and this kind of ties into the Northern Lights and also Ken's presentation, but I learned that when you barbecue hamburgers in outer space, that they're a little meatier.
Oh. You know.
Next time we need a little.
You know. Okay. I'm gonna. When you told me that outside earlier, I completely missed it.
That's all, but I'm happy to be here and helping out the club.
Cool. Congratulations, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next upcoming event is Bob Bow Memorial Fox Hunt, March 21st. Where's Dave? Do you want to talk about that? You want to say anything?
We're going to start as usual at Bueller's at 10 a.m. Craig is going to be helping out getting you guys started. Please allow him to leave by 10:30. So we're shooting for like a 10:15 start time in the middle of that window there. Bring a friend. First prize is probably going to be some pastries, some Cardinal coffee, and coffee. I won't do a pie this time because it's hard to split up between two people. So I'll get some nice pastries or something so people can have a late brunch.
I like pastry. It's definitely, you definitely want to team up with someone. It's not a, you don't want to be driving around looking at your handy-talkie trying to figure out where stuff is coming from at the same time.
Much easier with a partner, and again, safety first. It's not the first decide where you want to go, and just have fun.
Raise your hand if you're going to be there and don't have equipment. That's me.
Yeah, partner up with folks. I've got a couple of extra antennas I can hand off to somebody who needs something.
Cool. And we'll find out a little later on. We're going to have another handy finder build before the next fox hunt. Not before this one because we're only a week out, but that's a helpful little tool as well. All right, we've got Skywarns going on. Next one's March 31st at the Wayne County Public Library. Then we got one April 6th, April 9th, and they're kind of spread out. So if you want to do that training, pick the site closest to you and the date and go have at it. Seems like it could have been kind of handy recently.
He did that on purpose. It was his last one.
Other announcements. No, I think he did it on a Mac, and I got a Windows, and something gets lost in translation, I think. But we'll work that out. Any other announcements for the good of the club right now? I guess we'll take that as a no. All right, let's approve some meetings. Mark isn't here tonight. That's the meeting notes, the minutes. Is he?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. I miss Mark. I called him on the way here this afternoon to express to him how much I miss him, actually. He'll confirm that. But he's been doing such a great job with these minutes, you almost don't have to come to the meetings. I probably shouldn't say that. But if you go through those minutes, he's got it frame by frame, and they look pretty good. Well, that's the fun of it, isn't it? Yes.
It's better than throw toilet water at something.
I don't have them in front of me. Was there any questions about the minutes? Anybody have any problems with the minutes? Do we have to approve the minutes?
Good on email.
Yes.
It looks really good.
All right, Stefan's giving an approval, and somebody second. We got Fred back there, W-A-K-O-C. Fred, did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get that, Mark? All right. Everybody's cool with it. Everybody good? Any nays? Good. Moving right along. Treasurer's report. Mikey, you want to tell us what's going on? There you are, sir.
Hello, everybody. Well, we did have a lot of money except I Hey, I had things I had. All things I had. We began with a balance of $3,186.95, and I had to write out a check for $900 for the hall. You think as good as we look, they would allow us to be here for free? Oh no, they wanted $900. So we got that paid. We had to pay for the food for Winter Field Day. That was $166.59. We had the Amazon Web Service. That was $77.63. We had the Starlink subscription. That was $5. And I made a deposit of $231. That was cash and check. That was paid for dues and 50/50. Okay, I transferred $1,300 from PayPal to the club account. So that leaves us $3,568.73. We allocated $1,100 for the repeater replacement and maintenance. So that leaves us a fund of $2,468.73. Now, what this does not reflect is I always keep $40 cash on hand. So we have that. And also in PayPal, our current balance is about $200. Because even though I transfer it, no sooner than I get it sent over, then somebody pays their dues, which is good. Oh, and by the way, dues are dues. So just go ahead and get those paid. And that goes for me too. I have to get mine.
I'm waiting for the outcome of tonight's election to decide whether or not I'm paying my dues.
So, yep, overall, yeah, it is good.
Very good. Thank you, Mike. All right, do we approve these?
No.
Okay, good. Fine business. Thank you very much, Mike. And dues are due. I do have to pay mine. Well, oh, speak of the devil, elections tonight. All right. Did that just get louder?
Yes, it did.
Okay. What's that? No, I'm not going to do this. Thank you.
Gary, I am your father.
No, I'm not. All right. So, big fanfare. We don't have any, there's nobody else on the ticket tonight. So, I guess procedurally, we just kind of ask if everybody's good with passing the slate as it stands, and that would be me replacing Gary. Phil, who also isn't here, K8PMI, is taking the VP slot, the hand of the king, if you will. Mike Shafter, K8QWE, and Mark Hayden, K4OG, splitting the treasurer thing. If everybody's, what's that?
So moved.
So moved. Dave moves. Fred seconds. You got that, Mark? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
All right, we have a new president.
I know where you live. Yay. All right. Now for my acceptance speech. Thank you, guys. Lucky for us, Gary did tonight's slides because he's much more creative than I am, as you will see. All right. But Gary will be missed. I hope he's not watching right now. He's done a great job for the last couple of years, and he did a great job before. And I don't plan on changing a whole lot, except that you guys will have to address me as sir.
Sir Just Nick?
Sir Just Nick. What's that? So thank you. All right. That went very well. Very good. Hopefully sometime in the future we'll actually have real elections.
Really?
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, and you were actually here this time.
And yes,
You didn't get elected where you weren't here.
the first time I was elected, I was not even, I wasn't at the meeting. I was in State College, Pennsylvania, and somehow or another I got elected, and that's how Gary ended up being president again, and I ended up being VP because, what'd I hit? Oh, God, if only.
Don't look at the count on the bottom.
What count? Oh, Mark. Let me count the ways. All right, now we'll try to move it forward. There we go. All right, we get to hear from the committees. I get to stop talking. We'll hear from somebody else for a while. This will be fabulous. We're going to start with Jason tonight in the technical committee. He's got interesting stuff for us, I assure you. Have at it, sir. Thank you.
I love the official microphone.
Step right up.
No, it'd be one of the old, Price is Right games. Like, I remember being a little kid being sick from school and watched Price is Right had the game. I always remember the game with the yodeling miner guy that went up the hill. Yeah, that guy. Couple things. If you've used the website in the last month, you've noticed it probably works a lot faster. We moved off the hosting provider we were on, centralized actually everything else we had left in Amazon Web Services. It's let us do a couple improvements, and we have all the announcements and mailing lists moved over now, which we were running into problems with getting blocked for spam and things like that. We moved to Amazon and their mail sending service, and that cleaned up all of our issues, except for one member who will remain nameless who keeps reporting our messages as spam. So,
Mark.
it's not Mark.
Okay. I'm kidding.
So that's a nice improvement, and we'll see that payoff here in coming time. Something else, this has been out there for a little while, but we really haven't talked about it much because we were kind of waiting to see how it would work out. As many of you know, we have the big hub, 48496, and when I say big, I mean it's attached to virtual server running in Amazon like all of our stuff is now. But it's a big hub. So what we ended up doing was we've created 6 additional nodes that all run on the same system. We're calling these the ad hoc All-Star Link hubs. We did this so if people have hotspots or nodes or want to link up with other people, and maybe you don't want to tie up the main repeater, instead of connecting to 484.96, you can connect to one of 430.780, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and those are kind of an open for everybody node. So I know Nick has used it a couple times, talked with Dustin and some of the guys from Oklahoma, but it's open to everybody. So if you want to, if you're testing out nodes, or you want to explore, you can use these. They're out there, especially because a lot of people with hotspots have problems with incoming connections. Especially if you're on like a mobile device or some of those kind of things. This kind of gives you a nice way to set up a multi-node chat without having to do a bunch of fiddling on your own. So that's out there. You can always see the dashboard. That's the one, if you just pull it up, it'll have the main stuff. But if you click on WKY, there's a drop down, and then pick the relevant number, and you'll see who's connected to that one. So, I'm sorry? Oh, thank you. If you have any questions about that, Nick would love to answer all of them for you now that he's the president.
I can do that. That's something I can actually answer.
All right, other thing we've got coming up. We're going to do a build project again by popular demand. We are bringing back the Handy Finder. We did this 2 years ago in the fall, I think in the fall of 2024, if I remember correctly. So I guess that's 18 months ago. This is a direction finder. If you go back in the YouTube archives, there's a video on Steve, KCAZKI, demonstrated it. And it's really a time-delayed null finder. Like when you put it up in the air, you can kind of either make it 2 ways. You can either use it as when is the noise the loudest, or when is there no noise, as long as you're holding it in the right direction. It'll give you a direction the signal is coming from. Because when you null it out, you'll hear, when you null out the directions, the sound goes away. This is a very easy to solder kit. I guess Gary changed. This was white on a gray, so this is a very easy to solder kit. It's all through-hole components, like normal size through-hole components. It's not a lot of soldering. It's very easy. Plop the resistors in, bend the ends, those kind of things. We're going to do the build on Saturday, May 2nd at 9 a.m. We're going to do it in Gary's garage again. It'll be $80, and that's all for parts. You'll end up with a complete Handy Finder. If you look online at the kit, it's just the board and the components, but you'll end up with the coax tail and the handle and the antenna, steel antenna loops and everything. So if you do the build, you'll have a completely, and a battery. We'll give you the battery. It's a completely assembled, ready to go unit at that point. Sign up and pay online. As a matter of fact, this went up on the website during the meeting, so you probably got an email about it. If you didn't submit previous emails to junk, person who knows who they are, or should know who they are. So this should be fun, backed by popular demand, and this can be used at, not Saturday, unfortunately, because it's in May, but we are going to have an all-club May fox hunt. Instead of meeting here, well, we're going to meet here on the 21st. We'll meet in this room on the 21st, actually. But instead of having a business meeting, we are going to have a club-wide fox hunt. Everybody is welcome. We're going to start from the parking lot here. This is going to be a beginner level hunt. It's not going to be tricky. The drive is not gonna be far. This is mostly for familiarity, practice, kind of whet the appetite. Everybody will end up somewhere where we can all gather at the end. I am gonna be sending out, probably in the April timeframe, maybe early May, depends. We're gonna try to get some people who have the right equipment to volunteer to be a team captain, I guess, if you wanna call it that. I don't know what the right term was. But we wanna have people who have the right equipment who are willing to work with other people. So you don't have to have the equipment. If you, we're gonna also say, we're gonna form these up by pairing people who have equipment and experience with other people who don't. That way, kind of a mentor kind of thing. Everyone has a good time, hopefully. This is going to be a timed hunt in the fact that you'll have exactly 1 hour to find the hunt, or the fox. But there will not be a winner. This is a participation trophy event. So if you find the fox, Nick will give you a pat on the back. That's his new job as president.
With my big hand.
Yeah, with his big hand. The big hand of the president will pat you on the back. But it's going to be a time come. We're only going to have the fox up for an hour. We'll still do the normal thing where we hand out a sealed card. I don't know how sealed it'll be this time. But it'll have a location inside of it that if you kind of give up or you get tired, you break the seal and come out to where we're all hanging out. So we're not going to take RSVPs, but forming teams in advance will be suggested. Like I said, we're going to get some people who are going to kind of lead those teams, and then we'll make that available and see how that shakes out. So that was it. Any questions for Dickman? Fred?
Like an idiot, every end of the net on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I say, if you'd like to become FCC license holder, you can go to wawky.org under the education column. And I went the other day and I didn't find the education column. So
I think it's under activities.
Should
now.
they go to ARRL or?
No, I think it's under activities. It moved like a long time ago.
That's my fault. Sorry.
You're looking for the exam session time?
Yeah.
That was under activities.
I see an education.
Oh, is it in there?
I see an education drop down.
It's under education
Is it?
license exams.
Yeah.
Okay, is it still there? I can't remember now. Okay,
Education license.
I got rid of one of the columns, but I guess it wasn't there. Yes, it is education.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it the other day when I logged in. I was like, where'd it go?
That's all right. Yeah.
Things have moved around a little bit.
Yeah. Anything else? Mark?
Hey, when you were, now, do we send hardware to Amazon, or are we using all of their equipment?
It's all cloud services.
What?
It's all cloud services.
Okay, because I remember at one point you had the 496 at the house for a while.
At what?
You had the note at the house, I thought, for a
It
while.
was at my house for a long while, yes.
Right.
Because running it out of the repeater site was being problematic, so it was at my house for a while. Now it's in the cloud.
Okay, but then now it all sits in the cloud, so you,
All in the cloud.
so, well, what do they have, different languages that you select which language you want to use for putting the stuff on their server?
Well, you just install it. It's the same software that you use on a hotspot. You don't have to do anything special.
All right, yeah, I said, oh geez, because you had it at your house and you said, I can run as much, pretty much anything there. But then when we went to the Amazon, I was like, oh geez, do you guys
It's exactly the same.
do you send some hardware and they set it on their shelf, or?
You just click a button and the operating system pops into existence and you install the software up there and so look.
All right. Yeah, it just was, just sort of like,
Ben?
I just got a comment to make about fox hunts.
Box hunts.
Not about fox hunts in general. Back when me and my wife first got into the hobby, we did it as a family thing, so everybody participated in the fox hunt, so.
Yeah. You drag your kids out, try to get your middle schooler out in the basement playing NBA 2K. Oh wait, no, that's a futile thing.
That's right. Give that up.
Yeah, I gave that up.
Dumb question, but after the end of that, that's the end of the meeting, at the end of the box hunt?
Unless you wanna hold a business meeting in the
No,
middle
no, no,
of the field.
no, well, you never know, it might be warm weather then, you could. That's-
We could, but we're not.
Okay.
It will be a almost meetingless meeting, because we'll have a little bit of a meeting to get organized, but other than that, it will be a meaningless meeting.
And we'll still have a meeting in June to talk, it'll be before Winterfield, Summerfield Day.
Yeah.
Summerfield Day.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oh. Hey, Scott, am I on camera? All right, this is for Mark. All right, Learning and VE Committee. Doug Hunter has a few things for us. Come on up, Doug. Come on down.
And I'll be brief. We did have the, now I'm licensed Now What class just a few weeks ago. Jason did the instruction for that. We had 7 people in attendance, and it was well received. We'll do that again at a later date. It's always good to have that class to kind of give people that have just gotten their license a bit of a jump start and informally answer questions that they had. At the conclusion of the class, we went around the room and asked people what they were interested in as far as amateur radio goes. And as I said, there were 7 people in attendance, and there were 7 different responses. So the people there all had a different thing. But that goes to show you really what this hobby is all about. There's just something for everybody there. There has been some discussion about APRS. Several people have been implied that they have questions, they have the radios, but they're not fully utilizing them to their fullest potential. So probably next week we'll send out a survey. We're looking for not really a class, but more of a workshop for people that already own APRS capable radios and are wanting to learn more about how to use them to their fullest potential. And unfortunately, APRS radios come in a broad spectrum of what their capabilities are. So just because you have APRS radio, you cannot necessarily do everything that your buddy's APRS radio has. It is different. So if you have an APRS radio, watch for that survey, and we're going to assemble a group of experienced and knowledgeable instructors to pair up with you and get you up and running as best you can. Yes, Fred?
I had to ask something tonight. What is an APRS radio? How much
Look,
do they cost?
if you don't have one, this class is not for you. So.
How much do they cost? I mean, I could buy one.
What
I could learn how to do it.
The simplest way of thinking about it is most of the APRS.
I should connect with the, space,
Yeah.
you know.
The radios that have a feature in them that allows the radio to beacon out to other receiving stations and essentially feed that information into the internet. That's a high generic type of an answer, but the way that most people tend to use it is they look on a map and they're able to track their travels, or their spouses can track their travels, and maybe you don't want to be tracked at all. So that's what it is, but you can read up on it. But this class is I don't even want to call it a class. It's going to be a workshop, and it's really for the people that have the radios currently and are looking to utilize them in a better way. We've got the VE session coming up again on April the 4th at the Ripon Fire Station. And speaking of the Ripon Fire Station, we've started testing there last year, and when I spoke to the fire chief about utilizing the training room for doing that, it was absolutely no strings attached type of a thing. But I did tell him, I said, hey, when you have your annual pancake breakfast, maybe I can get some guys to lend a hand to help out with that, or attend to buy a pancake or two, because they do not charge us anything for the use of their facility, and many of these smaller fire departments like this rely heavily on these pancake breakfast fundraisers to help them buy equipment. So that breakfast is not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday at 7 o'clock at the Ripon Fire Station. We'll send something out on that too, but again, if you'd like to help, we could utilize that, or if you'd like to just help by having a breakfast there, that would be good too, just to show our support and our thanks for utilizing that room. Stefan, as far as the VE session goes, do you have anything to add as far as that goes?
No, you said it all.
All right, very good. Thank you. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Doug. I'll do it if I get all the pancakes and sausage I can eat. All right. We're going to throw Doug out here right away. Talk about, yep, you get to do the same thing I do. Look up there and then come up with something. All right? And
So we're going to have the Field Day T-shirt design contest, and I'll have some more information on how to do that next month. And we have the Field Day, what is it? Winter Field Day. Winter Field Day, et cetera, and the dates for those, they're not out yet, are they?
Just Field Day. I think it's the 27th and 28th of June.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, Audrey's birthday. Yeah. It's the same every year.
yeah, go figure.
Yeah, no family picnic, and then Christmas holiday party, and then apparel sale. That's all I have.
There you go.
Very good, man. Thank you very much. Looking forward to some of those meteor burgers. All right, Ron, member support. Have you done anything other than, put your own antennae back up from the storm?
No,
Okay.
it's been cold and I haven't done a thing, except put my stuff back together.
All right. He had a carport flip that had, 4 antennas on it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that's what he was busy doing this week.
It's something like that.
What's that?
I love how it's something like that. Ron has an indeterminate number of antennas.
Have you ever driven by Ron's house? Okay.
I can imagine from the truck. I'm just saying, I just love it's an indeterminate number of antennas.
Fridge has antennas, the
He's
microwave.
got 82 on his truck, so I mean.
So it is spring. I would expect to start asking you more and more questions and getting more involved in some installations and helping people out.
Yeah, we'll start doing some stuff when we hear about what we need, but I haven't heard much in the last couple of months.
There you go. But you need antennas put back up, or you're questioning what to get, or anything.
Volunteer to help others.
And definitely volunteer to help others, because you can't do it yourself. Not all this stuff, and sometimes you need a little guidance, and Ron knows a bunch of stuff, and if he doesn't know something, he can point you in the right direction, or we all can. So, utilize the services. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, Ops Committee. Let's let Josh jump up here and take control.
You got this.
Man, I looked through all your screens, and I figured, yeah, you definitely want to take this one.
All right.
Hey, Josh. By the way, now that he's the new president, ask him to change your picture out of Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I made this slide. Well, Gary made the original, and I just left it. I didn't feel like changing it.
I live with it now.
So, all right. So, we got the final results in for Winter Field Day. We did a wrap up already last month, and we talked about Winter Field Day. But I wanted to touch on the final results. Not much changed. One thing changed for us. But like we said last month, we got 28 plus 1 multipliers. We made 15,021 QSO points, 1,521 QSO points. So when you multiply and add that all up, we ended up with 44,109 points. Pretty awesome. That was really cool. So again, we've seen this slide. Maybe some of you guys won't work here. Not much changed here. I think there's like one station down here at the bottom. I don't want to press something and blow it all up. But essentially, there's like one station here that changed. So it's top of our 2 hotel class. We're also the top of all of the hotel class. We made 92% of our objectives. So the only thing we didn't get was the QRP multiplier. We talked about that last month. So, and you can see the outrageous number of people, working from home because of the snowstorm. We were one of 33 different groups that only operated 2 hotels. So there's a lot of 1 hotel stations. So nice work on making the top of the hotel class. That is locked in. And then finally, for overall We did move from second place to third place overall across all Winter Field Day, but that is still pretty doggone good, I would say. We actually got bumped by the Warren Amateur Radio Club, of all clubs, another local club. So congratulations to Warren for getting second place, and nice job to our club for getting third place. So pat yourselves on the back. That was fine business right there. So there were a lot of entries, over 2,500 entries, so to be third overall is really, really cool. So that's the main update for Winter Field Day. I don't think I have anything else, but that's the locked in scores for this year, and we'll see how we do next year. So, all right, so let's talk about spring. Ops Committee meeting coming up Sunday, March 29th, 4 p.m. I said Sunday. We're going to do it, I think, at Tito's Mexican Grill over in Akron. It's Ellet. Thanks to Nick at Night for the suggestion. Appreciate that. So we'll do that. They've got a couple of tables set up, and we can set up at one of the big tables that can hold 12 of us, and so we should have enough room for all the Ops Committee. We're going to talk about, this is something I wanted to do earlier in the year, but we're just getting around to it now, talking about the agenda for possible operating events this year. So obviously, we're going to do Summer Field Day, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Thank you to the Learning and BE Committee picking up and doing the APRS workshop. Appreciate that, Doug. We're going to do some POTAs. Obviously, more fox hunts. We've been talking for a while now about the Lighthouses on the Air event. That's coming up in August. And Nick has mentioned a couple times a K3LR tour, a revisit.
Anybody interested in that?
Anybody interested in K3LR tour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. So we got like at least 10 people. It'll be a good time. That's gonna be awesome. I can bring the bus, and we can fit a whole bunch of folks in the bus. So that would be great. What else? There's talk about, there is this is actually wrong, this is in June, the ARL Club QSO party visit is the year of the club, but we are also talking about Ohio QSO party. I forget when that is, but it's in August. Yeah, right. So that's a pretty good possibility. And then I threw the Worldwide CQDX contest on there as another possibility. I thought that was kind of cool last year. So we'll talk about these. I'm also going to look for it. I have a survey created up. I just have to send it out. So when you see that survey, it's basically just going to ask you what are your top interests, what were your favorite events that we've done over the last 2 years, and just get kind of some feedback. See what direction we want to go. So hopefully coming out of that meeting, we'll have some ideas for the rest of the year. Any questions on the Spring Ops Committee meeting coming up in, a week from Sunday? All right. We already kind of talked about the Bob Bone Memorial Fox Hunts. Like Dave said, 10 a.m., start time 10:15, last start time 10:30, Bueller's. Anything else to add, Dave?
No, just again, do it with a friend. It's fun, it's safer, and there's a couple people who go out there and do their own thing. That's what they do. Yeah, it's a good chance. It's a great way to introduce somebody to the hobby. If you have somebody who's not a ham radio operator, bring them along for the ride.
Yeah, I need a partner, so I don't have any gear, but Jason is going to loan me some, so thank you, Jason. Anyways, all right, fox hunt. There you go. Thank you, Dave, again for doing that. We appreciate it as always. Okay, another thing that happened this month, I just wanted to point out that we did, and I wanted to say thank you to Jason for helping with this. The Canton Amateur Radio Club reached out. They have not really done a fox hunt, they at least in recent memory, so they wanted some advice and just see how we do it. So we hopped on a call with them. They asked if we could hop on, have a 30-minute call so they could pick our brains. So we did that on the Sarah Club Cloud. So that worked very well. Everybody was able to attend. Even Mark joined from Kentucky, as you can see. And so I think they were very grateful for that. And they're going to be doing a fox hunt coming up here in April. So let's see how that goes. So I think some of the members will be coming to our fox hunt to kind of see how we do it. So that's kind of cool. So more inter-club cooperation going on there. So that's the fox hunt. What else? Operating events. We talked about Bob Bone. And today is T-minus 100 days until Summer Field Day. So get excited for summer, field day, 100 days from today. We've already started talking about it, and we'll see where we land with that. One thing I've been thinking about this week, it would be really cool to get more CW operators. I think that's where a lot of the points are. We made a lot of our points at Winter Field Day with CW operators. So if we've got CW operators in the crowd, that would be really cool to have, because I am a really slow learner. I'm still learning. There's like however many characters, and I've made it through about 6. So CW ops, you get two points per contact as opposed to 1. So there's less multipliers I don't think there's any multipliers in Summer Field Day. Is there? Okay, so there's some multipliers, but I don't think it's like Winter Field Day that we were able to get a lot of multipliers. So I'm thinking contact points are where it's going to be at. So if we could go for those 2 points instead of just the sideband. I love sideband. Sideband's my favorite, but if we're going to place well, I think CW is going to be a big part of it. So anyways, thoughts for Field Day. Any other thoughts on Field Day? Jason, do you have any other thoughts on Field Day? Not right now? More to come?
I do.
Okay.
I'm happy to be unburdened.
Are you unburdened by what has been?
By what has been. So we are seeking out a different site for Field Day. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me? Did I?
Tell us how you really feel.
The Legion Hall has served us well, but it's certainly not ideal condition-wise for antennas or anything else. It's great to have bathrooms, it's great to have air conditioning, it's great to have a kitchen, but operating-wise, it's not the best. So we're looking around for some other sites, keeping the Legion Hall in the back pocket in case nothing else pans out. But we're definitely looking to do something, fewer transmitters, more operations, and not in the same old place. Does that kind of sum that up?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
So if you have ideas, let me know. Let Nick know. We'll investigate. We have a couple of ideas, and there's something else I was going to say, and I forgot. So there you go. So, Field Day.
Good deal, man.
Yep.
Thank you very much. New club business. Let me try that again. This is it. Okay, you just saw the new business we're getting into, and I'm it, and we're kind of continuing what Gary got started and what Jason built up here, and we're going to keep going in that direction. There you go. Anybody else have any new club business? Around the room, questions, comments, concerns? I will say, sorry, no 50-50 raffle tonight. We got the new barrel and everything, and social committee is going to take over on making sure somebody's here for that. But didn't happen tonight, so we'll just have to dip into the reserves to pay for the room a little bit more tonight. What up, Lily? Something about a birthday? Yeah. Okay. So remind us in 2 months. All right? All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns around the room? Anybody? Anything? What?
The pancake breakfast might be the day of the test, if it's in 2 weeks.
Pancake breakfast is the 28th, right? Saturday the 28th?
Oh, it's the week before.
It's not April 4th. It's
Okay,
not for,
never mind. Sorry.
Okay, there we go. We could do both. You could eat breakfast and go get tested. Yeah. All right, so we don't have 50-50 raffle tonight. I guess we can adjourn and call this a night. Everybody good with that? We leave a few minutes early. Everybody has time to hang out in the parking lot and act like a club.
I say we adjourn.
You say we adjourn? Stefan says adjourn. Second? Seconds all over the room. All right, Lane second. Lane gets the second on that one. Thank you very much, everybody. When's the next one? April 21st? We'll see you all back here. And I will see you on the radio.